For days leading up to kickoff, every pundit on social media predicted that the reigning champions were walking directly into a tactical death sentence. The architect waiting for them was Ralf Rangnick. He built an Austrian squad programmed to execute a relentless gegenpressing strategy, a defensive system designed to win the ball back high up the pitch with mechanical precision. Austria's entire defensive setup relied on a highly specific trigger. The exact microsecond an Argentine midfielder received a pass with his back to the opposing goal, the trap activated. This trigger deployed a 3-man pressure triangle. These markers would instantly lock around the ball carrier, giving the Argentine midfielder zero time or space to process the field. For the first 30 minutes of the match, this systemic pressure worked. It forced Argentina into a chaotic, highly physical war they were not built to play. By all metrics, the Austrian system achieved its primary goal. It choked Argentina's creative baseline and completely suffocated the tempo of the match. This chart shows Argentina's progressive passing volume, passes moving the ball significantly closer to the opponent's goal. Notice how the line drops into this red critical zone during the first half, hitting a statistical low. That drop in passing volume had an immediate cascading effect on the attack. Key components up front, specifically Julian Alvarez, were entirely starved of service and isolated from the rest of the Argentine unit. Standard footballing adaptations, like passing faster or dribbling more, fail against a machine specifically designed to eliminate decision-making time. Breaking this system required a complete shift in the structural geometry of the pitch itself. While the live broadcast focused on the chaos, Lionel Scaloni began implementing a calm, calculated structural response to the trap. The first new variable he introduced was extreme width. Argentina actively stopped trying to force play through the heavily fortified center of the pitch. Instead, Scaloni instructed fullbacks like Nahuel Molina to stretch their positioning out to the absolute touchlines. This width changed the math of the pitch. It dragged the red defensive markers away from their central zones to cover the wide areas. By stretching the play laterally, Argentina diluted Austria's 3-man pressure triangles, snapping their connection. This extreme width successfully weakened the trap, but it was only the setup. It required a second variable to fully break the system. That second variable was the deployment of deep anchors. Argentina instructed their creative midfielders to drop deep into their own half. This move acted as psychological bait. To maintain strict pressing parameters, Austria's high defensive line was forced to push even further forward. This created a tactical vacuum, engineering vast pockets of empty space directly behind the Austrian lines. Argentina stopped playing into the trap and engineered a spatial void so they could play over it, perfectly setting up the final execution. The moment Austria's physical energy metrics began to dip, the tipping point arrived. The mathematical advantage flipped to Argentina. Faster, more energetic tempo. The second a turnover occurred, Argentina bypassed standard slow build-up play entirely. In immediate transition, Argentine attackers exploded into that previously engineered tactical vacuum. This caused a total system crash for Austria. Their rigid center backs were caught out of alignment, frozen by the sudden spatial fluidity of the attack. When an opposing team operates with absolute positional fluidity, a rigid pressing trap ceases to be an asset. It becomes a catastrophic vulnerability. The final output of Scaloni's systemic adjustments was a clinical 2-0 victory, achieved through cold, mathematical patience. The media predicted a tactical death sentence, but the deep tracking data shows a squad that systematically shattered the trap instead of succumbing to it. This match proved a crucial macro rule. A high-intensity press only functions if the opposition allows you to dictate the spatial geometry of the pitch. By absorbing the pressure and manipulating the lines, Argentina generated the definitive blueprint on how to dismantle modern gegenpressing. Through precise structural adaptation, the hierarchy of world football remains untouched. Argentina proved that the ultimate counter to a rigid system is the mastery of the spatial geometry that defines it.